Our next inductee lived a life that was way too short, but in the time he was here, his skill and his courage left an indelible mark on those who knew him. He was born in Santa Clara, Cuba in 1937. His life began very hard. He grew up very poor. He was actually put out on the streets by his mother when he was just 8 years old. Fortunately, he had a loving grandmother who took him in and raised him. He was working in a meat market by the time he was 9, and he was also doing some fighting in the streets. He was lean and tall for his age, and he was noticed by a boxing coach. He began to train to be a fighter, and in 1954, he turned professional in his native land. He won his first 13 fights. By 1958, he began fighting in New York City on a regular basis. It was clear to everyone in the industry this was an extremely talented fighter. In 1959, he lost a tough decision to future Mexican legend Gaspar Ortega. He would also jump 10 pounds in weight and battle to a draw against future light heavyweight world champion Jose Torres. In 1960, while continuing his climb through the welterweight ranks, he bought a house in Miami and moved his family there. He received his first world title shot in the welterweight division in May of 1960 in Las Vegas, Nevada, where he defeated Don Jordan over 15 rounds to become the world champion. He closed out 1960 with a successful title defense over 15 rounds, beating Luis Federico Thompson. In April of 1961, he returned home to Miami, where he would begin his epic 3-fight series with Emil Griffith. In a grueling bout, he was stopped in the 13th round. Just 5 months later, he was back in the ring with Griffith at Madison Square Garden in New York, where he regained the welterweight title with a 15-round decision. He then made an attempt at Gene Fullmer's middleweight title, another grueling fight, which he lost by KO in the 10th round. A rubber match was then arranged just 3 months after that with Emil Griffith at Madison Square Garden. Many argued that it was way too soon after the knockout loss to Fullmer, but this was a true champion. He was always ready to fight. In April of 1962, in the 6th round, he had Griffith badly hurt, but could not finish him off. The fight went into the fateful 13th round, where Griffith unleashed a savage barrage that knocked him out and would tragically leave him in a coma, where he would pass away 10 days later. He was only 25 years old. His final record would stand at 35 wins, 12 losses, 3 draws, with 10 wins by way of knockout. The outcome of the final fight left Emil Griffith badly scarred for the rest of his life. He had much trouble dealing with the death. The family of the fallen champion showed so much grace and class, announcing there were never any hard feelings against Griffith. This man is remembered as a popular and talented champion who proudly represented his sport. He also represented his homeland and his adopted home with courage and fortitude. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, class of 2015, the late welterweight world champion, Benny "Kid" PARET. We are extremely pleased on his father's behalf to accept this award. Please welcome his son, Benny PARET Jr.
This is a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl.
I said I wouldn't do this. I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame for this wonderful recognition. This means so much to me. on this day being Father's Day. I'd like to say that, excuse me, I have a degree in theater and I'm nervous up here. I'd like to say that I grew up with a lot of memories that I wouldn't trade for nothing in the world. As a kid in elementary school, for show and tell, while all the other kids would bring their card collections, their model airplanes, I would always take my father's championship belt and show it to my classmates and my teachers. My father was a loved man by many. I mean, one day, I was working construction years ago, and while on the site, this elderly laborer heard someone call me by my name. And he waited till 4, 5 o'clock, and at the end of the day, while I was walking towards the car to go home, he stopped me and he pulled me aside to the corner. This gentleman must have been in his 60s or 70s. And he asked me if I was the son of the champion Benny the Kid PARET. And with tears in his eyes, he told me that when they had brought my dad's body down to Miami so the fans could pay his respect, that he waited 6 hours in line to walk him to the funeral home to pay his respects. So first and foremost, I would love to thank God and all the members of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, Butch Flansburgh, Kathy Flansburgh, whom I communicated with more than just one time. You're a charm. Bob Alexander, for making my mom feel so at ease while talking about her late husband, because to this day, she can't. This event is a very wonderful day for me to spend on Father's Day. As you all are honoring my father, Benny the Kid PARET, with such a glorious and glorious recognition here today by paying homage to the great boxers, the great trainers, and the great promoters, shows how much he was loved. And I know that he's looking down on us and with his great big smile on his face, proud and honored to be in such great company. I would like to say a few words in Spanish if I can. A todos los difuntos padres y campeones, y a todos los que están aquí con nosotros hoy, les quiero felicitar y decirle que feliz Día de los Padres. Esto no podría ser más gran éxito para mí, para mi familia, para que reconozcan a mi papá, el campeón cubano, primero cubano. Gracias. I would like to thank most of all my college friends, Will Perry and his beautiful wife, Uta, for sharing this wonderful moment with me and making this trip unforgettable. Thank you. And again, I want to say thank you so much, and it's an honor for this great recognition, for his achievement in the sport that he loved so much and paid the ultimate price for. Thank you, and have a happy Father's Day.
You see, man made the car to take us over the road. Man made the train to carry the heavy load.
I just want to say I enjoyed so much talking with just about all of you over the last several months on the phone. But the best, most enjoyable phone conversation I had was with Benny's mother. She was just a delight. So, Benny, you got a gem there.